Yeah, good morning, good day, people. I don't know how to find you wherever you are. Um, yeah, for us here is good day. I see outside. I'm looking at the sun. The sun is so sharp today. Yeah, yeah, guys. Yeah, actually, yeah, before you just pass by, don't forget to like, subscribe, please. Like, subscribe, share with a friend that has never watched it, or who want to hear something related to what I'm sharing now. Yeah, so yeah, my name is Launa K, and I'm a Namibian YouTuber. Yeah, so today we're having renovations at home, and yeah, it's like you wake up early and sometimes you don't know where to start, but of course, yeah, then you have to let the workers, as you can hear I'm sure you can hear the noise there. They are like chipping the wall now to place yeah, because these houses are houses of rosin. For those who are from Namibia, you know our mineral, um, we are having uranium. So, and I'm living in that town where the uranium is being produced, and it's called Arandes. And the mine, uh, before it was just a roasting mine that has been running the town, or the town was built for the roasting workers. And I think after 27 years, mines like Areva, mines like Ausap, and other mines, you know, Langer Heinrich, were like established or discovered. So yeah, so as you can see my wall, if you can see well, yeah, so you can easily see the bricks. The houses were not placed at, is it placed at or plastered, whatever the word is. Yeah, so now yeah, I've been living here. I grew up here. I left the town, and yeah, and that you are growing older, you are looking for a place to settle, looking for houses to buy. And we wanted to go to Chumeb, and yeah, we didn't get a house there, or rather in the range of price that we wanted. So we ended up coming back to Arandes, and this is how we bought a house in Arandes. Yeah, for many years we've been wanting to renovate it, but we had to find ourselves yeah, in a different town again, because when we came here, my husband got a job. No, he was actually police officer. Then he resigned from the police office, where he had been a police officer for more than 20 years. So then yeah, so then we stayed here for a year. He got a job in Rio Tinto. I think Rio Tinto is the mother of the roasting mine, so he got a job in Rio Tinto. And Rio Tinto is it's a production from British. So then after 1 year, no, actually he had been a police officer, so he left the police office, and then he worked for UNICEF with the child line something. And from there, then the police called him back, so he went to the police. Then I think when he went to the police, then after, yeah, he's telling me lifeline, child line. He's correcting me. Yeah, so after after that, then lifeline, childline, police called him back. When the police called him back, so he stayed there for like 10 years plus, and he left the force due to some certain things that occurred, and he thought of, let him just leave. And so when he left the police, then we needed to have a job to sustain us. So my husband became a security officer. Then he was like driving these security guards. And when he's driving, they'll call him, hey, driver. Imagine from a chief inspector a driver now. And yeah, so then I told him, when God wants to teach you something, he will not let you through a thing that you cannot bear or carry. So, and he's a very just God, he's a faithful God. Then I think some few months after, so then we remember there was a time, imagine, that was 2011 when he got that security job. Yeah, no, 2012 when he got the security job, I think, for some few months. 2012, and I remember 2009 and 8 there. And we were living in Katima then. I remember we were applying. We were applying online, about the Rio Tinto posts and so on, and were not, replied. And imagine 2009 to 2012. That is when the Lord made it possible. When we were in the right place, when we were in the right region, that's when God, replied. Because imagine if the Lord had replied while we were in Katima and while he was still a police officer, the way I know police people, he wouldn't have wanted to leave his force, So we came here, and while he was doing his security job, one day we just received a call. And I don't know whether it sounds familiar to some of you listening this, after leaving or after resigning or after the contract has finished, this thing come unannounced sometimes, and it leaves you with some bills hanging. And that faithful day when the call came, we thought it was one of the bills maybe calling us, and we are tired of telling people we don't have a job, and the job that we had could hardly even pay our rent. And if we pay our rent, so we couldn't, buy some just mere food. So there was a time that I was even sometimes driving taxi, taking our sedan car and go on the road and drive road trips, to make some money, just to be able to buy a 5 kg of top score. Top score is a maize meal, a powder used for pap for those who are not from Namibia, and cooking oil and a bribe pack. So that is how life became so hard. We could hardly pay rent. We could hardly afford proper perfume. I remember that time we were having a home sale, a church home sale, and the people that were fellowshipping there would help us, with one thing or the other. And there was a time the water also got closed in the house that we were renting, and boy, it was just not easy. Yeah, so it was during that time, where that call came in, the call from Rio Tinto. Remember I told you that previously, like 3 years back, we applied. We were just randomly applying online, about the jobs, and wanted to come to this region, and we didn't want to come without a job. And most of the time, actually, the moral of this video is like, when you want God to do something for you, just be a child, be a creation, be humble, be his image. Just don't aim high. Allow the process, allow him to take you through the process. So God had to take us through the process. God has been speaking to us already to leave Katima, that he's having a better plan for us. But for those who are married, as a wife, you cannot just come and tell your husband and he just jump. They always like to digest, reach you. They always want to, to be like, yeah, let me first see. And they like to count the costs and so on. And sometimes it's really uncomfortable for us as wives. So you have to wait. So the process had to take its course. And and he had to become a security guard in order for God to that is the only language he could understand as a man, that this is where I want you to be. So from security guard, and then we thought, what is the use? We are making nothing out of it, so we stay and we're just doing mission work and so on. Then that faithful day the call came, and we were like, oh my goodness, what call is this one? And well, we took the call, and And remember, before that call, he applied at River Mine, and people exchanged his CV with another person. People asked him for his CV, but time for interview, people can do things on this world. They gave his CV. I don't know how they did it, but instead of him going to start a job, somebody started a job on the account of his CV. It was quite painful, guys. So yeah, then my husband, we stayed. Security job was, finished, and that call came in, and we were like, what call is this one? Is it bills or what is it? So we answered the call, and the call was like, we are calling from Rio Tinto, and you are expected to come for interview and blah blah. So, but remember, here is the point, people. There are those people that like to say, prophets, false, and blah blah. And guys, leave the falseness to God. Leave it to God. The Bible said, do not touch the anointed one of God. We shouldn't touch them. They are human. Yes, they are not perfect, yet they are not ours. Imagine somebody to come and touch your child. How will you feel? Somebody touching the apple of your eye. How will you will blink? And many of us, at the blink of God's eye, hey, I'm telling you. So you must understand that as we're going through that, we decided to look for the counsel of God. We decided to look for a man of God. Like in the Bible, people looked for man of God. People looked for women of God. So we went to, that's my vision board. We went to Zimbabwe. It's also a different testimony on its own. And we went to meet the man of God, Prophet Hubert Angel. Oh my God. That man of God. The atmosphere around him. Guys, the atmosphere around him. It's like, you cannot, it's unnatural. Around him, you feel you answered, your questions are answered. So we went to meet that man of God because we felt like a spell was spoken or spilled over us. Nothing was just coming right in our marriage, in our finances. Things were just not getting in place. So we went there, and when we went there, he prophesied over everybody that was there. And he said, in 41 days, most of you, all of you will get your answers in one way or the other. And really, when we came here on the 41st day, let me tell you, before the 40th day, my husband got a call from Rossing and he got a job. And before the 41st day, the town council called us and said the application of our house that was really so difficult, we received a lot of rejections. Guys, we almost ended up on the street. That application was approved. I have a big respect for that man of God, Prophet Hubert Angel. He's a man of God, a servant of God. Yeah, so that is how that's how God started working on our lives. So my husband got a job on Rio Tinto, and I think the second salary we took it and we deposited our house. And yeah, so that's how we got a house. And my goodness, the house was vandalized. You couldn't look at it. And I told myself, God, if this is the way you want me to have a house, Lord, thank you. Just give us the wisdom to make it ours and to give us the money. And it is like at one point, when we moved into the house, guys, the floors, the house was just something else. The toilet, we had to buy some asset to pour on it for it to be clean. The house, we had to just fast use that white coat. When you are desperate, you need a house and you don't have that much money to buy the actual house you want, and here God giving you a chance and give you this house. So yeah, that is how we got into our house. And we just managed to put the precast around the house halfway, and we just managed to give a white coat. Yeah, the white coat paint. We couldn't afford the other proper paint. The second layer paint. And we had so good ideas about how to renovate our house, but and we had a plan. The plan expired. A lot just started happening after the process. So long story short, the Lord is so faithful, and yeah, I will show you once the process is done. I will show you before and after the renovation. So, and our neighbors were renovating. Our neighbors were, there was even a time where the water was closed and we had to fetch water for 4 years to our neighbors. Things were just not going according to what we thought and planned. But the Lord has been so faithful. Our neighbors have been so good. They allowed us to fetch water from their home. Even though we're not living in the town, but each time we're coming, they were allowing us. And everybody that's lived in their house, they will allow them to fetch water there. And it's just that we're not moving. People were renovating their houses. Each time we come back to town, other house is painted, and things were just moving for other people and for us, not. Yeah, so yeah, and one faithful day, God gave us the grace, and now we are busy renovating our house. And yeah, so our house is becoming the house we thought of having, and we thank God. Yeah, so what I want to say is, guys, just listen to the direction of God, just move in this direction. When He's telling you something, just trust the process, trust Him. When He's telling you, go into this house, no matter how it looks, just enter. When He's telling you, take up this project and this and that, just do it. He alone knows why. He alone knows why He had to tell King Hosea to marry a prostitute Gomer. He alone knows why He allows certain things. He is so perfect in His decision and in His existence. Yeah, so yeah, it was just a story time today, just to tell you this is a journey we had been through, and many people just admire the finished package of us. But if you can tell them or give them to go through the process, then they wouldn't want. So yeah, I think don't add. Once I was watching Prophet Bibi Angel, and she was saying, do not admire, I'm just paraphrasing, but something like, do not admire the money of the millionaire. Don't ask him. Yeah, don't ask him about something like rather ask him, how did he made it? Yeah, something like, do not want his money, but ask him, how did the millionaire made it? Because most of the time, I know people would come one day at my house and they'll be like, wow, I love the house, and they'll be like, I wish it was my house, but you wouldn't have wanted it before now. Yeah, so we had to sacrifice a lot, sacrifice good clothes, sacrifice just a lot in order for us to renovate and do some business here and there just to get there. So I might have been all over the place, and I just thought of sharing with you. And yeah, please have a blessed day, and let me hear what was one of the things that you and your husband went through, or you and your fiancé went through, or you and your person went through, and how did you overcome it, and so on. Yeah, otherwise, from me is bye-bye.